Okay, let's dive into something you shared with us. It really gets right to the heart of what separates people building, significant wealth from those who just sort of stay afloat.
Hmm.
The core idea seems simple, but it's really powerful, isn't it? The difference often boils down to whether your money works for you, or if you only make money when you're actively, well, working.
It's a huge mindset shift, really,
Yeah.
moving past that limit, the exchanging time for dollars thing, and more toward building systems that generate income, around the clock.
Exactly. And the material you brought in really emphasizes this isn't some like secret club for geniuses or millionaires.
No, not at all.
The strategies seem pretty accessible and you absolutely can start small. So our mission here in this deep dive is to cut through the noise, the hype, and pull out the real proven methods from your sources for earning income. Well, 24/7.
We're focusing on the practical stuff, the actionable insights presented, not chasing those get-rich-quick schemes. We want to explore what's, like, genuinely possible here.
And the hook that really grabbed me from the material, it was this idea that even something relatively small, say $100 a month in passive income, that can feel like real freedom
Yeah.
because it's money you didn't have to actively physically work for in that moment. It changes your whole relationship with income.
It really does. And what's fascinating is how clearly the material contrasts that feeling, that freedom, with the constraint of active income.
Right. It lays out the cold, hard truth, I think it said. Active income is that direct trade. Your time for money, your job, freelance gigs, whatever.
Hmm.
The ceiling on your earning is literally the number of hours you have in a day. There's only so many.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, passive income,
Yeah.
well, it breaks that link
Oh, yeah.
completely. It's about getting your money or, assets or these systems we mentioned to generate income for you.
Yeah.
That's where the potential comes in for scaling, for earning beyond your direct labor.
It brings to mind that quote attributed to Warren Buffett that your source included. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you die.
It's pretty stark, isn't it?
It is. Puts the difference very clearly.
It really hammers home the need, the necessity maybe, of building income streams that aren't solely dependent on your active hours, especially
Yeah.
thinking long-term, you know, financial security scale.
And crucially, the material doesn't suggest you need like a huge pile of cash to start this.
Not at all.
It keeps reinforcing that starting small isn't just possible, it's often the path people actually take, the ones who succeed.
So if the why is compelling the freedom, the scalability, what about the hows? The sources you shared, they zero in on 7 proven passive income streams.
Okay, yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. It presents a list, 7 specific ways to start building that income that doesn't need your constant attention. And it even gives us a hint on how to think about them, ranking them from maybe easiest to get going to the most scalable over time.
Okay, let's unpack that list then.
First up, it's framed as the slow and steady game, and that's dividend stocks.
Right. The basic idea here is you buy shares in established companies. The examples given were like Giants, Coca-Cola, Apple.
Yeah, the big ones.
And these companies, periodically, they pay you a slice of their profits just because you own their stock. You're a shareholder.
And the barrier to entry isn't crazy high. The material suggests you could even start here with like $100.
Mm-hmm. Getting a small piece of that established
It's
profit.
about getting a foot in the door, really.
Okay, moving on. Next one, presented as risk-free cash, we have high-yield savings accounts.
Yeah, this one isn't complex rocket science, is it? It's just about being smart with cash you need access to, like an emergency fund.
Right. Instead of letting it sit in a checking account, earning basically nothing.
0.0 something percent.
Exactly. You put it in a savings account that pays a significantly higher interest rate. The source mentioned examples like Ally, Marcus,
Yeah.
noting they were paying around 4 or 5% recently.
Which is way better than nothing.
Definitely. It's maybe the most genuinely passive option. Requires almost no ongoing effort once it's set up. But its main role is probably capital preservation with a modest return, not aggressive wealth building.
Gotcha. Okay, number 3 on the list. This one's labeled Sell Once, Profit Forever, and it's digital products.
Okay, so think ebooks, online courses, maybe digital templates, software, that kind of stuff.
Right.
The heavy lifting is all in the creation up front. But once it exists, you can sell copies, like infinitely online through platforms like Gumroad or Teachable. You don't need to remake it every time.
So the income becomes passive after that big initial effort, right? The creation and, importantly, getting it seen marketed, that part isn't passive.
No, definitely not. But the income stream from the product itself, that can be passive over time.
Makes sense. Okay, fourth is affiliate marketing, which the source calls promote and earn.
So here you're basically recommending products or services from other companies. And if someone clicks your unique link and buys something, you earn a commission. The examples given are big players, Amazon Associates, or affiliate networks like ClickBank.
Right, I've seen those links.
Yeah, so your effort here is building an audience or a platform, maybe a blog or social media, where you can make those recommendations effectively. The income is then tied to sales driven by your initial or ongoing promotional work.
Okay. Fifth, interestingly framed as real estate without the headache, is rental income.
Yeah, and this isn't necessarily about buying whole investment properties, which can be, super capital intensive and honestly far from passive sometimes.
Right, being a landlord sounds like work.
It can be. The source highlights leveraging assets you might already have. Could be renting out a spare room, maybe on Airbnb,
Yeah.
or a parking spot, or even unused storage space via services like Neighbor, I think it mentioned.
Huh, okay. So it's about optimizing what you've got. Often needs less cash and potentially less active management than traditional landlording.
Exactly. Using existing resources for income.
Got it. Number 6 presented is YouTube ad revenue, designated the long-term play.
Right. You create and upload videos once. If they keep getting views over time, could be months, years later. You can earn money from the ads shown on them before, during, after your content, potentially for years after you first hit publish.
Like digital products, again, there's a significant upfront time investment, content creation, building an audience.
Absolutely. Success often requires consistency too.
Yeah.
But the revenue from older evergreen videos, that can be truly passive.
Okay, makes sense. And finally, number 7, described as no inventory needed, is print on demand.
So here, you're the designer. You create artwork for things like t-shirts, mugs, phone cases, whatever.
Okay.
You list these designs on platforms. Redbubble or Teespring were mentioned. When a customer buys an item with your design, the platform company handles everything.
Everything, like printing, shipping.
Yeah, printing, shipping, even customer service. You earn a cut of the sale without ever touching a physical product or managing any inventory.
Wow, okay, so your passive income comes purely from the design work and the platform doing the logistics.
Pretty much. Your creative asset earns for you.
That's interesting.
And the material wraps up this section with a pro tip, which I think is really important.
Yeah, what's that?
Basically, don't get overwhelmed trying to do all 7 at once. It strongly suggests starting with just 1 or 2 streams. Focus, get them running properly.
And then think about diversifying.
Exactly. The key, it seems, is not to overcomplicate things right at the start. Keep it simple.
That's good advice. Now you might be listening and thinking, okay, these sound plausible maybe, but who's actually doing this?
The skepticism is natural.
Yeah, and the material anticipates that because it provides some real-life, albeit anonymous, examples.
Right. It shares a story of a blogger who, years after writing their initial posts, is now generating something like $5,000 a month from that old content.
Wow.
And they started with basically zero financial investment, just their time and, expertise.
That's a really powerful illustration of that digital product or content creation model paying off long-term.
Totally. Then there's also the example of an Airbnb host earning $3,000 a month, just by renting out a spare room they weren't even using.
Right. Direct evidence of leveraging existing space, like that rental income stream we just talked about, not buying a whole new property.
And finally, a stock investor collecting $1,000 a month purely from dividends from their holdings.
Which circles right back to that very first stream on the list, the slow and steady one.
Exactly. And the shared secret among these examples, according to the source material, it wasn't starting with a fortune. It wasn't some magic bullet.
What was it then?
It was about starting small, maybe even tiny, but staying consistent, putting in the effort over time.
Consistency. That seems to be the unsexy but absolutely critical element, doesn't it? That turns these potential streams into actual flowing income.
Yeah, it's the persistence.
So, okay, what does this all mean for you, the listener, right now? The source doesn't just leave you with a list and some stories. It offers a concrete challenge, something it calls the 30-day passive income challenge.
Yeah, it's presented as a really clear, actionable path forward, not just theory.
The first step is super straightforward.
Yeah.
Look at that list of 7 passive income streams we just went through and pick just one.
Just one.
Yeah. Commit to mastering that single path first. Don't try to juggle.
Okay, step 2. Dedicate just 1 hour per day. every single day for 30 days, focused only on setting up and getting that chosen stream operational.
1 hour a day for a month seems manageable.
Right. And step 3, the outcome the source emphasizes again, is the potential to start generating income that doesn't rely on your active work hours. Reinforcing that even, say, $100 a month generated this way represents a huge step towards financial freedom. It's about building that initial momentum from a focused start.
It really echoes that classic analogy the source uses, the one about planting trees.
Oh yeah, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The second best time. Today.
You agree?
So we don't need to beat yourself up for not starting earlier. You just need to start now. Planting those seeds, even if they feel small, that's how you build a future passive income stream or streams.
The final thought the source leaves you with is really direct and I think quite compelling. It's about shifting your mindset, yes, but also your actions. Actually getting your money working for you.
Instead of just working for your money, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.